there we go. Slide over a little bit. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Monday. I'm Richard Carlton, creator of FMTraining.tv, where we create great FileMaker training every day at this time slot. I always like to say it's 1 o'clock Pacific time, but for most people, they're in a different time zone. So I always want to thank you for coming and attending, especially those of you where it's the middle of the night or early in the morning and you barely have woken up. So Nick, are you there? Are you back alive?
I'm here.
You're
Yeah,
good.
I'm back. I don't know what happened, but that's okay.
There he is. They're right there. Great. So we're going to be talking about dynamic value list today. So let's talk about dynamic value list. And actually, more importantly, Nick has been starting to put stuff on his schedule. So we're going to be doing kind of beginning and intermediate value list today. So it's going to be basics today. So today is basic content. Once again, we look at our diagram. We put it over Nick's head right here, and we can see that that down there's, I'll just leave Nick down there in the corner, but we have these different levels of people, business owners who typically like FileMaker to be awesome, but they probably don't build it themselves. And you got brand new developers. A lot of you are here, this brand new group of FileMaker users. We're here to answer questions. The whole reason we do this is to make sure we have some live interaction. So I want the questions. We need to make sure your questions are being answered. We have plenty of videos where we talk about content. It's animated, but it's recorded so you don't get to ask the questions, right? So intermediate developers. Today is beginning and intermediate developers, okay? Nick, you don't have to share your screen anymore. I'm going to go ahead and jump to my demo briefly, and then I'm going to invite Nick to critique it. You can watch it. You see it on Discord, Nick, my screen over here?
Yeah. I'm seeing everything.
And I got my damn popover. So here is the rub with popovers. People ask about this surprisingly more often than I normally would expect. And the idea with a dynamic popover is that the content, and you go ahead and mute yourself, Nick, if you're not going to talk, because we all get to hear you go, Richard's so boring. So what ends up happening is that people want to have a pop-up list, but they want the pop-up list to contain different content. It's not hard to build a dynamic. It's really easy to build a static popover, pop-up. And I guess we should talk about briefly, I guess, control styles a little bit. So if I go to layout mode, I'm going to zoom in just a little bit here. So I'm in layout mode in my FileMaker sample file. If you press the right panel here on the right pane, you're going to be able to see control styles right here. So normally a field is a edit box, but we have all these other options down here. I pretty much never use the drop-down calendar, at least on FileMaker Pro. It never seems to work out for what I want it to do. Conceal edit box are interesting. There's things here that are interesting, but really today is talking about a drop-down list, a pop-down menu, a checkbox, or a radio button, right? The idea is that these can be customized a little bit. Most of the times people will customize the pop-up menu or the drop-down list. So I'm going to just select pop-up menu for the time being. Once you specify that, it asks, hey, can you give us a value list? And of course, I would say, I would just going to call this, I could just call this one static. The name is totally arbitrary. But I could say the products are, you know, a widget A, you know, widget B, a widget with Nick sauce, whatever Nick sauce is, I'm not sure, right? Sauce, right? That could be questionable there. And then we could have, I'm still thinking about if we do a broadcast with vodka or alcohol, stiff drinks. So we could call it, last one could be training with stiff drinks. I think that would be a lot of actual fun. And so as I come over here and set this up, I'm going to bring this up a little bigger. And I can say, okay, so notice right here we have these custom values. This is the easiest one here to set. These other ones here are a little bit more tricky, right? And so the idea is that I'm just going to start with that. I'm going to hit OK. I'm going to go back to browse mode. For those of you wondering about this, I'm using the keyboard shortcut. Going forward, I'm just going to say I'm going to go to browse mode. So layout mode, Command or Control B, layout mode, Command or Control L. So if I go to browse mode, then of course we can have a pop down here, and those are the items that we specified. Really straightforward. But if we want to dynamically, say for example, we have a scenario where, and I'll come up this way, a little bit. Say we have some products. That's the order layout. This is the, I want to go to products layout. And so these products are available in certain states, right? So you could have a product that, say, is only available in Texas. You could have like the super truck. It doesn't really matter even what it is. Gas guzzler. And I'm not making fun of that because I actually love gas guzzling trucks, except they are expensive to pay for them, right? And so the idea is that you should be able to look and filter the pop-up based upon other criteria. If you actually came over here and we said Nick was going to buy the product, and Nick lived at this address right here, and I would say he lives on Maple Street, the city goes there, and then we could say he's in Stockton. I don't know if I spelled that correct. And the state, in this case, is California. Okay. What we want to do is have it only show us the California specific items, right? So how do you do that? You're going to need a relationship. And so what you're going to do is File, Manage, Database. And we need to understand that I created 2 tables earlier. They're very, very simple tables. I kind of pre-built these a little bit. There are no relationships. There is no relationship between the two. So what you could do is you could say, set up a relationship between the city over here on the order, or the state over here on the order, and the state on this side, right? And what you want to do is double click the relationship, check it out, and there isn't anything special in here. We're not going to allow creation of related records or any of that kind of stuff down here at the bottom. All these are turned off, okay? It's a safe thing to do, and we're not trying to force records to create. We just want to use this relationship to drive the dynamic popover. Okay, makes sense. Questions so far? It's all pretty quiet. And so I'm going to say OK right now. Well, the idea is, of course, I click over here. Oh, it's not dynamic yet. We got to do something else. So I'm going to go back to layout mode, Command or Control L, like that. And hopefully you folks can see this on screen pretty well. I'm back over here on my right pane, right panel. So left pane, 3 panels, right pane, 4 panels. I'm on what they call the data panel. I'm going to click on the field. I'm going to say Popup Menu, which is fine. Down below here, you can say, it's getting values from the static list. So I say I want to edit that. And we have this static one right here. I'm going to say, let's create a new one. And we're going to call it Dynamic Products by State. Okay. And so, Nick, if I start to screw this up, you feel free to stop me and intervene. Hopefully you're watching this, right?
Yeah, it's okay. Don't worry.
Yeah, we're just covering the basics here. It's very important. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here. I'm going to specify that I want to, from another file, I don't want another file, right? What do we want to do? We want to do this one right here?
No.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And then we want to get the values. So this is where we say use values from a field, okay? And then so it really helps to read this, right? Really important that you read this because it's kind of like a winging it. I can tell you that I personally screw this up frequently. It starts off basic, it gets more complicated. It helps to read this. Choose the fields that contain the values you want to use. Display the values from the first field. We're not going to worry about this over here because when we start doing the second field is where it can get a little exciting. Start with the first field. I want to see the value stored from products. And I want the product title, okay? I want the product title. And so down below, we get options. Include all the values, right? And so we'll say, well, let's just try that. So what does that get us? So once again, dynamic by state, I selected that. I'm pretty sure what will happen is we still get them all, including the Texas one right there. So what it did is it's going over to that other, from over here to this table over here. It's grabbing all the values and bring them over here. It's not a relationship. Okay, it's really important what I just said. This is one of those like screw yourself kind of moments if you're not going slowly and thinking about it. We didn't specify through relationship. We just said FileMaker, go over here, grab these values, and then come back over here and just give them to us, right? Which is great. That could be super useful, but that's the first trap you just got yourself into. You got to get out of. So click on the field again. I'm going to come over Dynamic Product. I'm going to click on that. I'm going to come back down here. We want to edit this. So we had right here this option here, specify field, product title, include all values. No. Include only the related values starting from the relationship. I believe this is it.
Yeah, okay. This is where
this is really complex. I hate this. I'm already confused, and I'm an instructor.
Yeah, I can help you.
Help me, Nick.
Help me, Nick. No, I can. This is backwards completely from the get-go. But people need to understand that has been built maybe 25 years ago.
At least.
And never,
Yeah.
at least, and never be reorganized. Okay, can you close this, please?
Yeah, I can actually
Yeah.
let you drive
Yeah.
if you want to
No, no,
drive.
no, I don't want to drive. Just go to the manage database.
Manage
Where,
database. Here we
yeah,
go. There we
yeah,
go.
where we can see the, okay. Here, what you need, this is how you need to visualize. You need to go, you want the result of a field from products, right? You want the product name in the products table. And you want those products only related to the current order. So you go to products. So now you see, you go to the target table, and you related data related from the source table. So cancel this, go back to the value list. So now you have this relationship in your mind. Go back to the value list, and then you understand how these things works. You specify, yeah. Now you see, you want to get the product titles from the product table, include only the related values starting from the source table order. That means I am in order, show me only the products that are related to that order.
Yeah, this is really convoluted. This is why people complain. It's very confusing. Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. It is. Look, it is backwards. So you need to think. I'm going to the target table, products, and show me only the related data from the order I am sitting in. But because you first enter the UI here shows you the target first, you don't understand.
Yeah. It's like it's this is what we want, and this is saying how the hell do we get there? And really, it should be this is where we start. This is how we're going to go to where we want to go, and then this is the field. It really would be where you start. It's kind of it is exactly backwards. So it's once again this is the target field, but this is the method of getting there, and this is the part that really makes things ugly because you will swear this is working, but it doesn't work. So I'm going to hit OK. I'm just clearing all these dialogues. Once again, there's too many dialogues. I hit browse mode. We're in California. We have 1, 2, 3 in California. We should have pop-up list 3 items, and we do. It works. If I say I got it wrong and Nick is in Texas, then we get that. Right? Now notice if I'm not going to commit the record. I'm going to tab, and I'm going to tab again, and I'm going to click in there. Yeah, so as soon as you exit, it adjusts the relationship. I was wondering if it did it only after you committed. You know what I'm saying?
No,
Nick?
no, you don't. That the value. Yeah, that the power of the value list. That's why I'm using that a lot. Is because you don't need to commit the record to get a list of. Okay, if you go with a relationship, and you want to list the list function to get the list of related data, you need to commit. But because of the value list doesn't need the committing, which is
so if you use that, what the command is Valueless? Is that we talked about?
Yeah, value list. I will show you.
That's more of an advanced conversation. Yeah. So,
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
so this is basics. This is important that once again, sometimes if something doesn't work right, in the back of your mind, you're thinking, do I need to commit it or save the change first? And clearly, so if I make an edit right now. Is the data saved in a database? No. If I tab here, is the data saved? No. It's not saved. This is based upon a relationship. If I tab one more time, I still haven't saved Texas yet. It's not saved.
Can I correct you here?
Yeah,
Richard?
go ahead.
The data are saved. They're not committed.
Okay, what's the difference between saved and committed? Help everyone with that.
Okay, so yeah, so here, I'm sorry because the wording is extremely is extremely important here. When you go to a field from field to field, you are saving data into the field. Okay, so when you type Texas, you save the data inside the field. When you click outside outside the field, you are committing the record, which is the ultimate version of you're done.
So so saved is a state. We don't even in my training we don't really talk about it too much.
Yeah, but if you go layout mode for me, please. Here, I'm going to show you. When you go layout mode, you go to the stencil, table order. You go to the stencil to edit the dialog, the layout dialog.
The layout dialog.
Yeah, the layout setup. Setup.
Layout setup. Sorry. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, so if you go triggers.
Yeah.
Here you know what happened. You load the record, then so you have, if you go down, it's
object, right?
No, it's an object. Sorry, I was wrong. Go to the fields and go to the trigger. Yeah. So here you have on object enter, the keystroke, the modify, the validate, the save, the exit. So the exit is pretty much a commit.
Yeah.
Okay. The save is between the validate and the save. It's the exit. It's the save is when you go to another layout, another field, you saved the data. The data are saved, and that's the reason why you can have the value list work.
I really hate. I understand what you're saying, but this is going to blow people's minds. So why don't we save this for another day? In fact, that should be another conversation. The difference between save and commit should be almost its own broadcast, Nick. Almost its own separate, because
But here, what we can say to the non-advanced, very beginners, we can say, hey, when you go to field. The record's still open. Okay, you didn't save anything. You
Correct.
didn't. You can revert.
Yes.
If you
yes.
go, okay, that's what we said. We can revert everything.
I try not to split those with beginning people. I just tell them that save and commit's the same thing.
Exactly. Commit is saving.
Commit is saving. Saving is committing.
Okay.
The problem is there is a subtle under the hood thing in here. And it's okay. Once again, that is for those of you, that's a conversation for over here. I mean, the issue here is the little stupid things like that go on. That dialogue is really hard to manage. It really is. It just is really hard to manage. So let me zoom in a little bit.
The key here for the beginners, the key is when you have a doubts how this works, go to the relationship. Look the relationship you have. Let's say you have like your example you have is perfect. The state you have let's say you have a product available in that state. So you want the product titles available in that state from the order I am in.
Yep.
So you go first. You go to products. If you show the dialog, the Valueless dialog.
Yep, go on there, stand by.
So it's very important you need to think backwards, like many things in FileMaker. You go, unfortunately, you go to the product, get the products, okay? You want the product title, but only the one that are related to the order I am in. That means by state, because you can create multiple. Relationships with different things, right? So the relationship you are going to that is going to be effective here. Yeah, I'll let you finish this.
The reason is I just wanted to point out that it's pointing. Hang on one second. So the reason I'm doing this.
Via state,
and so then I go back over here. Then you look at what it's doing. It's telling you. So you want to get it out of there, right? And then,
yes, you go. Yeah.
But here it's the table, right? So it's.
It should have said that. It should have refreshed that by T01A. T01.
Okay, well, let me go back to browse mode. Okay.
I don't know. It should have.
Is that, or is it giving us the base table? Right. That's the question.
No.
No. Okay, you said no. All right, so we're gonna go edit and specify. And there it is. It did. You saw that, everyone? That was a bug. That is not our fault. That's not. That's Nick's
okay.
fault, but because
No, it's not. So you know what? When you go to the let me explain. When you go to the database, to the managed database, you do a bunch of changes, and then you have this dialogue with a progression bar saying, okay, saving dependencies, and this dialogue that we can skip, and we skip most of the time. This is what the dialogue is doing. But FileMaker deactivated this dialogue when you edit the database from here. When you go in the menu, you say edit, they deactivated that. That's why it didn't do it. It's a bug, and I think they found a way. That's the reason why they did that. But I noticed that several times, so forget about it.
Here's the next question. So this is from TK, and TK wants to know how many layers down can it go. Okay, this gets back to lean design, right?
Yeah, it can go back. It can go down how much you want.
Yeah.
Until you get the spinning wheel.
Yeah. So the road to hell is paved with relationships that are spiders, or you're using great grandchildren relationships. So managed database. TK's asking, well, if I have a TO here and a TO here, and I got another one, and I'm dipping through like 5 or 6 of them. Remember we talked last week about performance in the churn, right? Remember the churn. The churn is when it's spinning because it's got data locally, but it has to like work through the data, right? It's not that's coming down. It already has it down. It's churning. You're causing it just to go like, rah, 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 rah. It's like when someone's trying to start their car and it won't start, you just hold the starter.
Exactly. And the problem here, TK, is, and other people, the problem here is that Valueless are working in a very special manner. Our Valueless are very, very special. They have a very special behavior. And that's what I'm going to lay down the specifics in my course next month, because when you understand how the Valueless works, really, then you will understand, TK, that you don't need that 200 levels. You really don't need. You just need to create the relationship you want at the time you want it, and I'm going to show that to you next month. That advanced version of it. Okay, this is advanced discussion.
So I'm looking real quick. So this is the beginning class, and then the advanced one Nick will pick up in a couple weeks. So here's a question from Amco99 on YouTube. He says, hello, for the source of the value list, do you have a preference about getting the data from a built-in Valueless in FileMaker versus making your own tables and fields?
Okay. That the question for
That's
me?
his question. It's for one of us, whoever wants to go.
One of us. Okay. Okay. Here my catch here. When I need something static, like in the United States we have 50 states, right? And I don't see that changing anytime soon, unless California secedes. But we will have 50 states for a long period of time.
Sure.
So so I can make that I can make that static, or Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday won't change anytime. Okay.
Yeah.
So now when you have something you want to let your customers, let your user editing, then yes, the table with the field is relevant because it gives to your user full freedom to do whatever they want without to call you every 10 minutes. Oh, can you add this? And then you okay, that because you can create your static value list with editing, easy editing, and then you can have full dynamic list with the field. It's the field is really better than the static in terms of performance anyway.
Okay. Yeah. So for simplicity, you do have the ability to have it and allow people to edit edit the values, right? For static, this is once again beginner stuff. If you're a beginner, definitely, and the data doesn't change that often, almost ever, then I would just do it statically. It's simpler mentally than building a table. I mean, gee, right? So I think that's a good one there. Then you can, of course, edit right here, and you could go in and add a new one. We could say it's a coffee, a latte. I don't even know how to spell latte, whatever, L-A-T, whatever.
But this is the problem of this when you have an advanced kind of, let's say, usage is that you can have a rogue employee just say, oh, I don't like this list, and he put his own, right? So it's,
There's a question here, some Swin Bauer, I guess, same person. A couple questions coming in. The problems, old items are changed. So we've got value. So there's a couple questions here. Nick, why don't you keep an eye on the Discord one? Brutterman is asking, can a value list be created from the results of an execute SQL query?
In that case, you use an even more advanced version of this. We call that virtual valueless, which is a nightmare to explain right now.
Yeah.
I don't want to blow up the mind of the beginner audience today with this.
That's kind of advanced. Well, I got guys here. I say it's beginning, intermediate, and then they ask advanced stuff, and then they get grumpy when I don't give them advanced stuff. So I can only do so much. I mean, I don't know what to tell you guys. Questions about how this stuff works, right? I mean, it also gets into this issue where you could have a second field to display additional information, right? Couldn't you do that?
You really want to go to that swamp?
Yeah. Well, because what you do, there's a couple other options here. I'm gonna go and specify this right here. I'm gonna say, so that's dynamic by state. I'm going to duplicate it. I'm going to say edit it. It's going to be dynamic by state. I'll say with description, or let's say with price. That would be better. Okay, so I'm going to say with price for the moment. I'm going to hit OK. I'm going to define a field in orders, tables, or products called price. It's going to be a number field. Create. I'm going a little fast here. I apologize to everyone for that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here to layout mode, and I'm just going to put a price in here. I don't want it to be too horribly ugly. And so we can put price right here, and you could do. How the hell would you do currency in there, Nick? Could you even do currency in there? This might not be a great one.
No, it won't show the dollar sign.
Yeah, so you'd actually have to come up with another hack. It'd be a hack, a text field, calculate text field with a dollar amount in there.
All what you are showing here, that's why I'm going to explain that next month with my advanced course on this. Although that is a built-in hack within FileMaker. This stuff here, the second field option they do here, that was introduced with FileMaker 2.0. And it was a band-aid on the crack, and they never removed it since then. Show how so you have 500 now.
Yeah. The problem is that that's a dollar amount, but it's a number field. You can't really format it to be currency, right? Kind of a hack. So to hack it even worse than it already is, I'm going to go File, Manage Database. I'm going to go to Products. I'm going to create a field called
price with currency
with currency, which is totally screwed up. It'll be a text field. Oh no, it'll be a calculation. It'll be a calculation. I'm gonna keep it simple.
No. Auto entry. Okay. Can be an auto entry. Yes.
Nick, I'm trying to keep it simple.
Okay, no problem. Calculation, good. Calculation. Calculation.
All right, I don't know. I can't. Okay. Because I'm scrolling all the way over there. Let me make this window a little smaller. There we go. There we go. Now we can do it. So what we're going to do is we're going to say, give me the current currency, because I got dollars here. And then I can say, and then I could say the price. And then if you want to do like all the currency would change and stuff, whatever, you could, I guess you could do that. I'm just going to keep it simple. I'm going to say it's a number field. I'm going to say it is We'll store the
You can-
results is fine. It's okay. I'll just leave
Yeah,
it.
it's fine. It's fine. But you put as a number. Oh, hold on. Go option. Go
Oh,
option.
did I leave it as a number?
Yeah.
Oh, that's what happens. It has to be a text because we're putting this little bit up here, which makes it text, right?
Yes.
So, all right, everyone, you still there? Will we lose anyone on the broadcast? So now we got this extra field here. So you got 400 there. You got this one right here because we want to actually have that because notice over here it doesn't have the $sign in it. Once again, this is a Band-Aid on the crack. You have to say it with Nick, like Nick. So
you need to change the target field here.
Yeah, you got to go in here. You're going to specify this one right here. And then instead of the price, we're going to get the Band-Aid with the crack field, right? And then notice down here, you can say, well, only show us the values from this second field, right?
Yeah.
That's even crazier, right? So,
but that function has one target reason. It's to to
it has to
fill our
primary keys and stuff like that. Yeah. So we could do it that way too. So we go back to browse mode. Now we just get dollars. Really, it's stupid, but the idea is that there is a second value. So I select that. There it is, right? Makes sense. I could once again go back and select it again, edit it, go here. I'm kind of jumping around really fast. I could say, there you go. And then you could also say sort it. Sort the values so they show up in a certain sorting order, right? Pretty cool. That could be a performance hit if you had a really big solution. So now we have something slightly more useful. Now you have the dollars price tag on there. So these are the basics of dynamic value lists. This is one of those areas that I will retire before this ever gets fixed, would be my best guess. So
will never be fixed, never.
Never. Yeah, the FileMaker platform will probably, I mean, I don't think it's going to go out of business anytime soon, but I mean, probably in 15 years I retire or something like that.
The problem is this: is to maintain the how you call that back compatibility. How you call that
backwards compatibility. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So that means if you have an old file from the FileMaker 2.0 and you run it with FileMaker 19, if they remove that, that will be over.
Okay, so TK, there's two questions now. TK has a question. Assuming you have a pop-up list with hundreds of items, can you limit the size of what's shown? No. If you want to control that, you need to do a card style window and do your own little selection through your own list, basically. Amco99 says, this is a really good one, Nick. I can think... This is where senior engineers, we could always think of more than one way of doing it. So here we go, Nick. Here's your test. In case of two fields in the value list, can you auto-populate both the first and the second field from when you select an item?
No.
Right? Yeah, well,
yes, you can. You can on doing what we call a concatenated field.
Well, you could do it either a trigger or an auto create. Basically, if you select this is really two values from two fields. If I select this, I think he's asking this first part goes in the first field and this second part goes into the second field, right? Does that make sense? And so you have to. It really only loads the data into one field, so you'd have to find a way of extracting out the piece and shooting it into the second field, right? Basically.
You want the two data, the first and second, to load in different fields?
Hang on, I'm gonna paste it right here into Discord. This is what Amco said in Discord. I'll paste it also in Twitch for those of you.
In case of two fields, can you auto-populate both the first and the second field once chosen from the value list into one or two separate fields in the layout form?
Yeah, I had that correct.
Yeah,
right. The answer is yes. It's more work. There's no checkbox that does it. Because basically, based upon this filling in, you want to auto-populate a second field, either with a script and a trigger or an auto-enter or something. I could think of 3 or 4 ways of doing it.
Yeah, there are multiple ways. But anyway, you have to separate the values, which is here. You cannot count on the space to separate the value because you have many spaces here. So you can count on the space. So you need to separate the value, the first field, the second field. So you need a third field for that, or you need a third field that do the separation of things. Like you have the project title and the price separated, and then you can, when you select one path, you you have an auto entry calculation that fill up the first. Okay, that's multiple ways.
Yeah. So the other thing you could do is this is where it gets into primary. This is where you see this a lot of times where it gets tricky in here and it gets trapped a little bit. Is that you're selecting the dollar amount, but you really want the primary key, right? So let's change. It says ID product. Yeah. So what if we change this? What if we do go down this road? This is right on the edge of it's no longer intermediate anymore. So what I want to do is I want to get the ID of the product. Okay. But I really only want to stick in there the product title, okay? Or I want to display from the product title, but I want the primary key to come over, right? Because if you can bring over a primary key, then you establish a relationship, another relationship. We have a state relationship already, but now we could like lock it into a specific product that we've selected, right? So I want to bring over the ID product. I want to see that. And then when showing values, only show them from the second, only show values from the second field, right? And this is where it gets really kind of half the time I set this up incorrectly, and it really goes to hell really fast. So I just screwed that up. Did I not save it? See this? I'm already messing it up.
No, it's okay. You're good, because until you show out a pop-up menu, it will show up the data.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Thank you.
Yeah,
so I'm gonna select it.
You're right. It works.
No, it's not. But that's not the primary is right there, right? So.
Hold on. Can you go layout mode, please? Can you show? Okay. Duplicate this field, the ID product. Duplicated it. Yeah, and do not show it as a menu. Show it as. Click OK. Click and show it as
text.
As a field.
Yeah. So this will be as a text object here. Oops, sorry, right here. So the control style, what we call control style, will be text.
Yeah,
so, okay. Got it. So that's what's happening. So we're using this to select something, but then it puts the primary key in there, which helps us establish a relationship.
And the problem, and this works only on pop-up menu. If you select another drop-down menu, it doesn't work anymore.
Really? Okay, let's try that.
Yeah.
So this is going to be. So what we'll do is we're going to call this the control style is a text box. This is damn it, I can't type. This one right here is going to be a pop. I'll say pop menu. Okay, and then the one above will be a Valueless. Is that what you said?
Yeah, drop down.
Pop. Is that what you call pop down? Drop down. That's what I thought. Drop down. Okay. All right, so I'm going to click over here. I'm going to say Dropdown List. Okay, now browse mode. Oh, yeah, Nick, look at that. So
doesn't work. So that's what I'm saying. Okay, this second option, if you need something like that, please watch my webinar next month, because I'm going to show you, because I'm pretty much okay, as an advanced experienced user developer, we don't use that technique for at least 15 years. Since FileMaker 7, we stopped using that. This is a legacy from FileMaker 2.0. Okay, so actually that is FileMaker 3.0. It's prior to the fact that FileMaker could have relationships, real relationships, right? So it was kind of a band-aid on the crack back in the day, to like the multi-value fields, right? It was kind of a band-aid to try to do something that couldn't. Now we have a much better way to do that things. Okay, so but it's okay, right? But you see the limit of this. It works only on pop-up menu. So if you don't put on pop-up menu, you see the thing not working anymore. That gets you confused completely.
That's why I would have problems with this, and it would drive me nuts. I was kind of dreading doing this broadcast. Nick's here, he saves the day. I did not know that it flips like that. Andre Newson. So in terms of flipping, this supports it, the pop-up menu, but the drop-down list doesn't support it. It's here, but then as soon as you select it, it kind of goes away. So Andre asked the question. Now, Andre is super advanced, Nick, in some ways more advanced than we are. He says, are you guys working on conditional valueless? And dynamic value list, yes, the word conditional implies other things. So like a conditional formatting, right? So there is no conditional formatting. We're not using this at all here. So there's no conditional formatting here. Okay. Pros or cons. So Ken Tooley says, any pros or cons on Dropdown versus Popup?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. Well, there's one difference right here, right? So you can't suppress the value with a popover in the menu, right? But the problem with a drop-down list is that you can actually then click in it and then do your own crap, and so it allows people to override your value and just make a mess, right? And so the problem with that is if you want to really restrict people, either you let them do a drop-down and then unfix whatever they break, or yeah, because people can go in there and type whatever they want.
The biggest difference between the two is that, let's say you have 1,000 results in a menu. The menu show free, but let's say you have 1,000. Okay, so the pop-up menu, you show the 1,000. Let's say you have A to Z and you have 1,000, and you want to go to John, for example. With the drop down. With the drop down, you can type the first letter of the beginning, and then you filter kind of your you filter it. Yeah, you need to duplicate the layout, the field in the layout if you want to do that. You know what I mean, right? So on the drop down, you can type the beginning of the value, and then it's shorted out. If you type 42. If type 42, it will, it will remove the 12.
Autocomplete. That's where we need to turn on the autocomplete, right, Nick?
No, you don't need to. Okay, turn this into show the value list, the real value list, not the ID. Show the one value of the value list. Yeah, show all the products. Show all the products.
Okay. So we'll go to that one. We'll say okay. I'll say by.
Yeah, this one.
Will that one work?
No, not by state. But yeah, it's okay by state. So click here. Okay, here you have 12, 42, and global. Tab GL.
Yeah, it went down there. I'd highlight it automatically.
Okay, so but if you had a lot of, now click on the field. Because the field is not. Click here. Remove this. Yeah, tab GL. So click here. Click on the list, tab GL.
Then hit the. Yeah, I did.
Yeah, so you can type the beginning of. So the drop what's the name? The pop-up menu doesn't do that. Then you can clear a field, because here the pop-up menu, to clear a field you need to use a trick. Here, if you tap on backspace here, now you can clear it.
Yeah.
So it's kind of it's pop-up menu and drop down are really, they have you need to use them when you need them.
Okay. If I duplicate a bunch of values over here, Nick.
Yeah, but you duplicate the same all the time. So
I know, but they have different keys, right? So they're different.
Yeah, but they don't care, because you said the first field is the name, so it compressed by the name. It's he select the unique value.
Okay. Yep.
That's another property of the value list, and that's why I'm using value list most of the time to do that. But now FileMaker 19, yeah.
It's deduplicating it, right? It's basically what it's doing. It's doing a deduplicate.
Yeah. So if you have 10 times Nicholas, for example, and 10 times Richard, the value list will show one Nicholas and one Richard, even if you have 10 of them.
Okay. Yep, sure does. Correct. That's an interesting edge case too, duplicates like that. So,
yeah.
But the primary keys are different. So what if you go in there and you are going to change let me see here, edit. We go here, back to here. We say, show only values from, you turn that off. Let's see what that does, if that does anything. Yeah, there it goes. Now it's done deduplicating because now they're different because they were different primary keys on the front end of it. See that, everyone? So
if you say if you say sort by the first field, it will do this. If you say sort by the last, it will do the other one.
There you go. Cool. Cool. Top Cat says I mostly use Dropdown List and put other edit box on the top. Yeah. Oh, yeah. You're layering things together. Okay. So just remember, you can do layering in Pro and Go and WebDirect. You can't really layer with the anticipation that you can click through, right? Remember, WebDirect doesn't really allow that kind of clever layering. So Top Cat was talking about this clever layering where there's a text box. Basically says a text edit box on top, but the pop down list underneath it, Nick, right? Makes sense? So he's layering the two feeds? Yeah.
That's a hack.
It's not a hack, it's mandatory.
That's the hack.
Yeah, no, that's a total hack, but it doesn't work in WebDirect because once again, as a web browser, it doesn't see the layering. Like if I'm doing another field on top of each other, you smash them together, you see them. That's what Pro and Go, but they're both there in Pro and Go. With WebDirect, it's whatever's on top. That's it.
Yeah, so that for the let's say for people interested in jumping into the advanced kind of swimming pool, that's why I love having my value list as records, is because I can turn them into a portal. That means you use the combination of a popover and a portal, and then you have a list, and then you have much more freedom to do things than you do with this kind of out of the box control that we have, like the pop-up menu and the drop down and stuff like that. So when you have your values as records, you can turn your value list into a portal.
So tomorrow is going to be scripting for beginners, what not to do. Copy, paste, right? We did a bad idea to generally use copy and paste for a variety of reasons, right? Right, Nick? All sorts of stuff. Kind of things of to do and not to do, right, Nick?
Yeah. Copy paste, it's a big problem with this, but
But if it's your first day, if it's your first week using FileMaker, then just use it. It's fine. Whatever it takes to get it to work.
I mean, like I said, the right way to do things is the way that fits you. That is the FileMaker motto. Okay. Now, obviously, if you do the copy paste, you can have a breach of security if somebody comes and see what you have in your clipboard. So that's the only downside of this. Okay, but anyway, you're right. If it's not, you can. But we can tell the people, if you can avoid it, it's better.
Yeah. And that's going to be tomorrow. Then the day after that, we've got some basic script tips. And then we got PSAW, Sassy, and Robots. Once again, these are kind of beginner sessions right here. Okay. And so if you have any questions about that, let us know. But that's what we're going to be doing. Should be a lot of fun. So any other questions, we'll catch you tomorrow. Thanks, Nick, for coming in and explain to us. It's been a hack, and it's been that way. It's a crack, a Band-Aid on the crack. I mean, I got to write that down. That's a good one. Appreciate it. We'll catch you tomorrow. Thanks.
Bye.
Just stepped up the whole way. Calm, cool, collected the quarterback. Great read. good patience. More importantly, great job up front protecting this quarterback to give you a chance. And that's all you can ask for.
Try to rally down 10. 9:25 to go here in the fourth. Short motion by Amendola from the left. Brady takes the shotgun snap. Stands in, throws it left for Amendola. Reaches up and snacks a high throw and lands inside the 10. Rolling to the 9. Ball slightly behind him, but Danny makes the grab.